This is my 86 Ford F-250. I was just gonna do a little walk around video on this because my friend Tony Lawyer made a video on his truck and inspired me to make one, even though I know it won't get much attention. It just sounded like fun to me, so why not? I'm trying keeping it short and only brush up on the main details because I could make this video 3 hours long, you know, if it came down to it, but I'll try and keep it short. Start with a little walk around just on the exterior body. The biggest exterior feature in this truck is the American flag I painted on the hood, because it came with a brown hood when I got it. So I painted the American flag on it just because, why not? Look better than brown in my opinion. It definitely makes it extremely unique. I just accidentally knocked the 250 part of the badge off. I need to reattach that on. I have OBS Alcoas on it, which I think look quite nice. And it has camper special mirrors on it, which wasn't original. The previous owner swapped them over, and I quite like them. Has the car steps and this weird handle. I did not put those on the truck, but you can see it's a lariat. I got this toolbox with this tie-down bar, which makes it sweet. And then I have a bunch of tie-down points that I put in the bed to make this truck a lot more usable. I just put in this gooseneck hitch, which that's gonna be slick. I can't wait to use it. Dual tanks, but the front tank isn't there because I actually have a single 38-gallon tank in the rear, make it much more reliable. This isn't the original tailgate. The original tailgate was lost to time, but I found this at the junkyard. The red matched, but it was tan, so I painted the bottom tan piece white, and I think it looks pretty good. I didn't have the red piece, so I put in a piece of white oak, and it's just, when it's not violently sun faded, I actually do quite like the look. A lot of the passenger side has been resprayed. I really don't know what the story is on that, but you can see like peeling clear coat, which means it's not factory paint. Bondo crack right here, but it looks good enough for me. I plan to fully restore this truck in the future, you know, a paint that looks like it came out the showroom floor, and redo the interior again, because it made the interior look a lot better, but not quite anything perfect. But one day I'd like to. I'll just jump into the interior. This is the interior. I quite like it. It's nothing perfect, but it's pretty optioned out. At least I made it optioned out. Nothing too bad. This is my daily driver, so we'll have to excuse the fact that it's quite dirty. I'll brush over the Marty report quickly. I'm not going to get too detailed into it, but you'll notice C6 automatic. This truck started out as a two-wheel drive C6 truck, but I have since put a Dana 60 in and a ZF5. And then some options. I'll just go over the interesting ones. I have no idea what the California emission system is. Nobody knows. I've been trying to figure that out for years. This is the really cool radio. It had the digital readout, but when I got the truck, it wouldn't work, so I just replaced it with a Kenwood single bin. It actually had rear jump seats when I got it. I still have them laying around. I might put them back, but the rear bench seat is much more usable because you have the under space and you can fold it flat. But this Marty report isn't too interesting. It was made July 31st, 1986, and I guess you can say it's a 1 of 67 truck, but that doesn't really matter to me. I put these A-pillar gauges in, autometer gauges, and I do not recommend you buy the glow shift gauge pod because they're pointed so high in the ceiling. And after I put it in, it dawned on me that you're actually supposed to overlay this with the original. So that's why I have this gap here and whatnot. I'll remember it one day, hopefully, maybe, but if I did that, I'd find a gauge pod where it doesn't just point insanely towards the ceiling. I put the tachometer package in. I found it off of Parts Trucks. That was a good find. And all the power door locks and the windows work and whatnot, so that's really nice. I have a modern trailer brake controller, which that's awesome because I do tow in this truck quite often, and a CB radio just because I quite like it. AC works. I have a little phone charger that works very well. You know, the clock works, the four-wheel drive light, everything works in this truck, which is what I like about it. And it is very mechanically sound. I like to go on road trips. In March, I went all the way from Boise to basically LA and hauled a truck back, so that was fun. Didn't have a single issue. You'll notice it's a ZF5 truck, but I kept the T19 shifter, so it still looks period correct in the cab. And then this is actually a Borg-Warner 1356T case, but I still kept the original bullnose, so from the cab it still looks period correct, which is what I like, because I can't stand when people put the ZF5 boots and shifters in the bullnose, because the shifters just look so good, and I like to keep it pretty period correct. We can go on for hours about the flaws of the interior and paint, but for what it is right now, I quite like it. I've owned this truck for going on 5 years this year, so I'm extremely happy about that. Just these little speaker boxes because I wanted rear speakers, and they don't look too bad, and they're easily removable. I just really don't like when people are cutting holes in the trims and whatnot, so I try to keep that to a minimum unless it's absolutely necessary. But for kind of moving to the chassis, so this, like I said earlier, this was a two-wheel drive truck when I bought it, but I had this Dana 60 lying around, so it was a 410 Dana 60. It's the Kingpin, and I just had the axle, so I kind of went all out on it. I rear geared it to 355. I mean, this whole axle's rebuilt. Everything front end brand new. I mean, the gears, the bearings, and the diff, all the wheel bearings, the leaf springs, the bushings, the steering, the gearbox, the steering shaft, the column, I rebuilt it. Everything's brand new, so this steers like a dream. And these are actually 99 to 04 leaf springs, so this thing actually rides quite nice, especially for what it is. And I have these Bilstein, I think they're called 5400 series shocks, and they are worth every penny. They are expensive, but trust me when I say they are absolutely worth it. I had the cab off this when I did some engine work and putting in that front axle, so I painted the whole frame, so everything chassis is repainted, degreased, everything's brand new under here, except for two things I still need to do. This T case needs rebuilt. It's leaking, not because of the seals, but because the bearings are going out of it, so it's hard for something to seal when the bearings are out of it, so it can't ride in the seal surface. Well, I have here's my fast fuel in this thing, so it's just that single tank, and you'll see the lack of a front tank. 4-inch exhaust. I need a new tailpipe. This tailpipe isn't my favorite. It doesn't look that good. And I also, this rear diff isn't perfect. It's kind of going out of it. What I'll do is I'll re-gear it, rebuild it to probably go for some 373 gears and put an Eaton True Track limited slip unit in the rear. Put those in a couple trucks now. I really like them, actually. They're a really good unit. They are very impressive. Oh, one thing before I get under the hood. My friend, the one I mentioned at the start of this video, sells these keyless entries, which is just really cool. I'm not going to blare the horn because I don't like hearing the horn, but the alarm button does work. The range is great. It turns your floor lights on and whatnot. Really slick. I love it. It's just the little things like that that just modernize and make the trucks a lot nicer, in my opinion, that I really appreciate. This is a 6.9 IDI, and I've gone through this whole motor And as you can see, I've hopped it up quite a bit. This was a ATS 085 turbo, but I rebuilt the turbo, put it in a smaller exhaust housing, had to make my own downpipe, put in a wicked wheel, and intercooled it. This is a 6-liter intercooler that we're looking at, and it performs extremely well, and I'm very happy with it. And I kept the AC, and you cannot tell that it's intercooled from the outside. A lot of people really cut and hack these grills when they intercooler, and I really don't like doing that. A little bit about the engine. I have a camshaft in here, so that puts the torque numbers a lot lower, which makes it really good, especially when you're towing an overall performance. I have a bigger injection pump, bigger injectors. I got these sweet aluminum return caps. Those are really awesome for these. Whole motor's been gone through. And oh, I have upgraded valve springs too, and I also have this thing on head studs, so keep the heads on good. This is actually a 3G style alternator off a van that bolts right up, which is a really good upgrade. I highly recommend it. Get rid of that 1G alternator. There's nothing good about them. I made this battery tray so I have room for my air filter on this side. Really like that. Group 31s. This thing cranks over on a dime, especially with this Power Master starter. There's no complaints in the way this thing starts. It'll be 0 degrees outside and it'll still fire up in 2 or 3 cranks, 2 or 3 revolutions of the engine. It's honestly impressive. I actually found a Saginaw power steering pump because I really don't like the Ford pumps. You can get the bracket off Ford vans, because those actually, the Ford vans had Saginaw pumps for some reason, but you can take the brackets out of a van from the corresponding engine and they just bolt right up. This one specifically is off a 6.5 Detroit truck because I do have a Hydro Boost brake system, which is just amazing. A really good combination, the Saginaw with the Hydro Boost. Cruise control works, and like I said before, everything works, which is one of the things I really like about this truck. And you know, this is my daily driver. I've taken it pretty much all across the West. 1,000+ mile road trips with the trailer, it'll do it, and you won't have a single issue. And it's one of the things I really like about this truck. And of course, it's far from perfect. This is an ongoing project, but this is just where I'm at now. And I guess I'll fire it up. Just why not? There's a lot of things I would have done differently, but I'll get them fixed out one day. Make sure the radio's off. Tachometer works and everything. It's pretty quiet in the cab, especially for what it is. I don't have any complaints. The turbo whistle's pretty good in the cab, which I do like a lot. But for what this is, a 6.990i, it actually runs extremely well. It's really powerful for what it is. In the grand scheme of things, or a gas motor, it's not much, but for what this is, it's really impressive. And I've done everything all with my own work, all the custom pipes and the engine and the trans swaps and the Dana 60 and everything. It's all done by me, so I'm quite proud of it. Also, a big upgrade is there's actually a kill mat at everything. Windows down in the cab, so if you took this carpet and the panels off, you'd see all the kill mat, which is an actual worthwhile upgrade in my opinion. But pretty much everything chassis on this truck, which besides the T-case and the rear diff, is in absolute fantastic condition and or replaced or rebuilt. So there's no complaints. If you have any questions about more things on this truck or these engines or trucks, and specifically, I might be able to answer it for you. I've really done a lot of work on these Fords over the past few years, so feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions about what I did, how I did it, or really any other questions pertaining to these trucks. I'd be happy to answer it. Probably put 70 or 80,000 miles on this thing, and I just keeps getting better over the years, and it'll get really better once I have more money to repaint it, because I'd like to go for fully restored on this truck one day. But you know, if you want a paint job in general, especially one that'll look like it rolled off the showroom floor with the tape lines and whatnot, that takes quite a lot of money. And when you're trying to restore it, trying to find these trims, a lot of the trim on this truck is good, but you know, those aren't hard to find. The aftermarket ones aren't that great, you know, trying to find a nice tailgate panel that matches, and that stuff's all a bear. And like the interior, there's a company in Oregon that makes the seat coverings. That's easy, but the dash pads can get a little tricky, especially the door panels. I actually scored some door panels that are in better condition, so if I put a little work towards them, they'll look brand new. So redid the headliner, that's still looking good. So I really have no complaints for the interior. It won't be that hard. It's just time and money, that's all it ever is, right? But this truck does me extremely well, and it performs good. Everything's solid, steers, cruise control works, like I said before. But yeah, I just figured I'd make this little video just for fun, basically. Thank you for watching if you made it this far.